Jayanilo Premadana Karuna Pracho Jayanilo Premadana Karuna Pracho Jayanilo Premadana Karuna Pracho Heno Prabhu Kota Gela Acharya Tako Eno Prabhu Kota Gela Acharya Tako Kaha mora swarup rupa Kaha sanatan Kaha mora swarup rupa Kaha sanatan Kadasarago nata patita pavan Kadasarago nata patita pavan Kadasarago nata patita pavan Bata juga kaha kabira kaha mora bata juga kaha kabira Kale kota gela goranatara Ekakale gona gela goranatara Kotibo mata anale pashibo anale kotibo mata anale pashibo pasane kotibo mata anale pashibo Gauranga gele pabo. Goranga gunera nidhi kota gele pabo. Se saba sangira sange je koila vila. Se saba sangira sange je koila vila. Se sangana paya kande narotamoda. Se sangana paya kande narotamoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Gauranga. Joy Nitai. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bolo! Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath Swami, Jai Jagannath. Jai Balladev, Jai Subhadra, Jai Balladeva, Jai Subhadra. They cannot hear us. It's from Trikalagya Prabhu. Most respected Manu Prabhu, my humble obeisances to you and the great services you rendered to Srila Prabhupada and his mission. Thank you for inviting me along with Krishnadas Swami to your residence during the Bhaktivedanta Manor campaign in the 1980s and holding weekly Namahata programs. You also enthused so many congregation members to become Krishna conscious and at the same time support the Manor campaign. I remember at that time your children were 35 younger from today, but it was so encouraging to see how they were also so enthusiastic in supporting your sincere efforts. I am grateful to you and will be indebted to you for your support from Bhaktivedanta Manor to Shishirada Parthasarthi Temple and of course to Vrindavan Krishna Balaram Temple. Praying that you are happily serving their lordships and Goloka Vrindavan, your humble servant Trikalagya Das. Manu Prabhu ki! The next one is from Mahadevi Mataji. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripasindubhya eva cha patitanang pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Manu Prabhu will always be remembered in Vrindavan for all his selfless services to Srila Prabhupada, our Vrindavan lords, and to their devotees in our community through giving lakhs and lakhs of Lakshmi in his caring nature. He was sincere in his devotional service and dedicated to pushing on Prabhupada's mission in ISKCON Vrindavan in many ways. He was also regulated in attending Prabhupada's temple programs despite his older age and very much appreciated the blessings from wearing Maha garlands. Whenever he would see me, he would immediately take off one of his garlands and give to me. He wanted to know from me about devotee care, who he could help. We also would joke around about how Krishna is very tricky and puts us all in various challenging situations to encourage our faith and pendants. He really enjoyed sitting with Gaura Bhagavan Prabhu in his office and taking prasad there. Sometimes I joined them. He gave a lot of Lakshmi to feed the devotees as well. I didn't have much association with him, but our meetings were always about discussing devotional services and having a few chuckles in seeing how Krishna is always in control. He was very blessed to have had the love of his family of devotees. He is now in his new form, engaged in eternal service with his Prabhupada and his lords. Manu Prabhu ki Jai.
Hare Krishna. We are missing you, Manu Prabhu in Vrindavan, and hoping you are in a ISKCON, which is also in a spiritual world with devotees and with Prabhupada. I remember first time in Krishna Balram temple. At that time you watched the ISKCON television Atma program of Bhagavad-Gita, and you said, you go and preach and have Pandal program, I will sponsor all. This was his every day when he was meeting to me, he was telling like that, you go and preach for Prabhupada. And when he bought a house there in a, where is it? No, the one there. Keshav. Gauriya Madhura. Anand one's first floor. I took prasad, Mahaprasad from here and took to him at that time. He said, you have not to bring prasad here. I will come and eat there. I took Mahaprasad. He said, at that time we have a couple of email exchanges, and he was always, somehow he was older than me, but every day he was in the morning, even when I come to Aarti, he was standing at a Gaur Nitai, most of the time there, but sometime in a later part, he was keeping a chair there and sitting there. And he said, in my village, in Haryana, I will make a temple. Will you go and stay there? He used to tell me. You go and stay in I will make a temple there. I want to preach to my old people in Haryana. And when he got this, I am saying this is most fortunate that his Jagannath property, where the Jagannath is, on that Snan Yatra day, there were thousands of devotees and they were chanting holy name, and that place, very place which he gave to the ISKCON, and Jagannath is now residing there. And when the whole Kirtan and Snan Yatra was going on, at that time he ascended up towards the final destination. So definitely this was an auspicious time, the place which he actually arranged for Lord to reside there eternally. So Lord will definitely arrange a place for Manu to reside eternally in Golok Dham. Why we have somehow he was elder to him, always he was having much more regard. I was touching his feet, but he never allowing me like that. He was so sweet. He was concerned with the whole bridge, the Garuda Govind Kunda renovation. A couple times I drove him there. He said, well, I want to do like this. So his heart was in Vrindavan, and Mataji also came couple times, but because of some knee problems, he was not often time coming. And even when once daughter and son came, I met, if they remember. So to the family, we are with them. This Vrindavan is a home for everybody. It is Prabhupada's home. You are all always welcome to come back to Vrindavan and remind us about Manu Prabhu's glories in Vrindavan, of so many services he has rendered to the Srila Prabhupada's mission in Krishna Balram temple. Manu Prabhu ki Jai. Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripasindhuvya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. For me, Manu is like a fatherly figure, not just by age, but by seniority also, and by maturity. He's always smiling, but at the same time sober. One time I gave a class, Shrimad Bhagavatam class, and he was there sitting, one of the audience, and the class is about donation or giving charity. So he liked it so much, and our IVTV was just starting, and he asked me if he can get a copy of that lecture. He liked it so much because it's about charity, and for me he's like personified charity personality. It's like I was telling to one of the devotees here just before the program, if we put Manu's name to all the things that he donated and here in Krishna Balaram Mandir, so we will just see everywhere, practically every nook and corner, Manu, 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 all over the place. It is not that he just gave his money to Krishna, but he also gave his life. Money will come and go. But if one gives one's life to Krishna, then the reciprocation of Krishna is eternal. A residence in Goloka Vrindavan. And definitely he's one of the main donors or sponsors or contributors here at Krishna Balaram Mandir. But not just like that, that he gave his money, as we mentioned earlier. He was there. He's a devotee, definitely. Others, they just give and then they don't really give their life. He's there for the morning program. I remember him last seeing him 2019, and he was staying here, the ground floor of the guest house, and every morning, even though with great difficulty, Mangalartik time, he will be there. Somebody will be just assisting him, going down or coming up to the temple room, and he's there. He's very determined to go back home, back to Godhead. And because he's very dear to Lord Jagannath, Baladev Subhadra, that definitely he attained the topmost place under the lotus feet of their lordships. Would like to thank him and his family, especially Sanjeev Kurana and Meera Kurana, and also Mataji. Name? Kamala Krishna Mataji, you're all very dear to all of us. Definitely, you'll always be remembered here at the Krishna Balaram Mandir. It is not enough to say thank you. There's no words to express the gratitude that we have. You gave everything for Krishna, especially we have this very nice temple, Krishna Balaram Mandir, and also the Jagannath temple, where we have some of our brahmacharis, and every day there is an ongoing programs like classes. Mother Daivi Shakti will come every day to give class, and the puja, pakka, everything. So it'll be etched in our hearts, the things that you have contributed, and will be there till the end of our life. Thank you very much, Manu Prabhu. please say a good prayer for all of us also who are still here with our mortal body. And that hopefully someday we'll meet each other again. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Yes. And so he gave a beautiful mirror for the deities. And specifically, I mean, he liked all the deities, but he liked most Radheshyam. So he wanted that in the back of the mirror, in the front is beautiful mirror with nice decoration with peacocks and inlaid stones, and in the back side was also silver gold plated, and specifically he wanted the name written Sisi Radha Shamasundar, and then also donated by Manu Das. And then not only that, but he was always eager to do seva also, not just giving donation, but practically. He wanted to come on the altar also, and in the beginning, sometimes doing artik, but then as he was getting older was difficult. But at least when he was here, he tried to come every day for darshan on the altar, and he wanted to show the mirror himself, which he donated. Usually it was my seva, I had pujari seva, but anyhow he donated. He said, yes, sure, okay, you can come. So when he was here and he was coming, then he was showing the mirror to Gonitai and to Krishna Balaram and then to Radha Shamasundar. And so that was going on for quite some years when he was here. And then, but then at one point he was just physically not so much able, too old, and then it was difficult for him to go on the altar. And now I'm still doing myself when I'm on the altar, showing the mirror and remembering Manu Prabhu, that he gave this beautiful mirror. And the deities, so before giving darshan, so the deities, they look at themselves, how they're looking, how the pujaris are dressing the deities, and then the deities are looking in the mirror. And so every day I hold the mirror, and many times I'm just remembering, of course, Manu Prabhu, because he gave the mirror. So that he gave some other things also, but because that we're using every day, and it's very important, especially for Srimati Radharani, I mean Krishna, Gonitai, they maybe look at the mirror and okay, it's okay, nice. But you know, the ladies, especially Srimati Radharani, everything has to be perfect, so that Krishna is very much attracted to her. So that is an important seva, to having the mirror, having a beautiful mirror for the deities. And and that is offered since many years, more than 10 years, or maybe 15 years even, that we have this mirror. Sometimes we have to give for repair. And before we used to have mirrors, simple mirrors we used to get from different places, wooden, nice also, but this one is more special because it is silver gold plated and inlaid with stones. So that is his wonderful contribution for our seva on the altar. Of course, he gave other donations, important donations for Food for Life, the Jagannath Temple, Saranga Thakur will speak. So big donations, but as far as I'm concerned, the mirror is the most important donation he gave. And so for that, definitely. So Radheshyam are taking nice care of him, and he's eternally going to serve them. So very fond memories, and he was always kind, but he was concerned that we're taking nice care of the mirror, the Shingasan. Two other things he gave for Gonitai and I believe Krishna Balaram, the chatris which we are using. Sometimes, usually I make the dress list, which dress to put every day for the whole month. Every month we are changing, so I'm taking care of that. And so he gave some chatris, some umbrellas, which is traditional in some places. Personally, I like it also, but I don't think there's a need to put every day being in Braj, Gonitai, and dancing and chanting, and Krishna Balaram. What is the chatri or setari, which they use in some temples in South India specifically, is a sign of opulence, which is all right, and it should be opulently worshipped. But so therefore I was not putting every day, but whenever he was here, he was telling me, why are you not putting the chatri? So I said, okay, I will put. And then, so then I make also a list usually. Actually, just today I remembered that last month we just put a few times, and this month now we should put again. Then usually I put it on the list because we have two. We have a silver one and silver gold-plated. So he gave the silver gold-plated one. So then I write certain days during the month, maybe 5-6 days, we put a silver gold-plated, and 3-4 days we put a silver chatri, so umbrella, which we put over the deities. So that is also a wonderful contribution which he made. Other contributions also, but these are most important. Hare Krishna.
So Manu Prabhu is one of the pillars here of the temple. He was always looking for different ways that he could give donations in all the different departments. So he used to come to our shop. He would tell me about an ashram that he had built a little distance from the temple, and he would always ask me to come and see it. It took a few years, and then when I finally went there, I saw that he had built a whole temple. And there was land, there was a garden, there were vegetables growing. It was just amazing. And he had built that especially because he felt that the devotees who were getting old, the Prabhupada disciples, they needed a place to spend their last years here in Vrindavan. So not only was he doing a lot of deity service, always donating, and he was giving so much money for so many contributions for the kitchen, for distributing prasadam, but without anyone even knowing it, in a distant place he had built a whole temple to house the devotees in their old age. So we had experience of that. I was able to bring my husband there, and for 6 months the devotees took care of him every single possible way until when he went back to Godhead. So Manu was always, his brain was always busy how he could serve the devotees, how he could serve the deities. And we're going to have a great vacuum here because no one can fill what Manu had done for our temple here in Vrindavan. So there are other devotees here who would like to speak, and it's getting late. So we'll ask Gaur Bhagavan Prabhu to please talk. He's in charge of our kitchen.
Hare Krishna. I am Gaur Bhagavan Das, Vrindavan Devotee Kitchen. First of all, I want to talk. Manu Prabhu is a great devotees and very dear devotees of Srila Prabhupada. प्रभु जी के बारे में बहुत कुछ कथाएं हैं, टाइम बहुत कम है, लेकिन प्रभुपाद के जो इतना प्रेम करते थे मनु प्रभु, हमेशा बात बात में श्री प्रभुपाद नाम लेते थे और हमेशा कृष्ण बलराम गौर निताई राधा श्याम सुंदर नाम लेते थे। प्रभु जी के बहुत इच्छा था ये वृंदावन में एक गौशाला खोले और उसका फेस दूत अपना जगन्नाथ मंदिर और राधा श्याम सुंदर का सेवा में लगे। लेकिन मैंने बहुत कोशिश किया प्रभु जी के, लेकिन कहीं भी जगह मिला तो मतलब पैसा से नहीं हुआ, कहीं पैसे की जगह सही नहीं मिला। 1 साल भर हम लोग इस जगह देखा, लेकिन भगवान की इच्छा लास्ट तक गौशाला खोल नहीं पाया। दूसरी बात प्रभु जी की इच्छा था, वो मुझे ये बोल रहे थे ये गौर भगवान ऐसे एक मैं सेवा करना चाहता हूँ कि जब तक चंद्रमा और सूरज रहेगा तब तक मेरा सेवा चलते रहे, लेकिन पता नहीं क्या सेवा करने चाह रहे थे तो कैसे बोल सकते हैं। लास्ट तक हम देखा ये कई सारी जगह में प्रभु जी ने सेवा किए हैं। ब्रज में बहुत भक्ति था, ब्रज छोड़ के जाने की इच्छा नहीं था, लेकिन भगवान ने क्या इच्छा, राधा ने क्या इच्छा, उसके आँख अच्छा था लेकिन तब भी उसने बोला मैं आँख मुझे ऑपरेशन कराना है। मैंने उसको ले गया था हॉस्पिटल में, डॉक्टर दिखाया, बात भी हुआ था जो नहीं यही हम सेवा कर सकते, सही कर सकते हैं। लेकिन प्रभु जी की इच्छा हो रहा था जिन्हें मैं लंदन में जाता हूँ, वहाँ एक्सपीरियंस अच्छा डॉक्टर है, हॉस्पिटल है, वहाँ अच्छे इलाज होगा। तो गए लेकिन बेचारा आ नहीं पाए। तो उसका एक आंतरिक लगाव था ब्रज क्षेत्र के ऊपर, ब्रजधाम के ऊपर। उसने कई सारे मंदिर बनाया, जैसे गौर गोविंद में बहुत सेवा किया उसने, भांडीर बट में मंदिर बनाया, परिक्रमा मार्ग में एक जगन्नाथ मंदिर वहाँ सेवा किया, और अपना तो मंदिर है ही है। तो प्रभुपाद जी के सेवा भाव जो था उसका बहुत ही महत्व था। हमेशा बोलते थे कि जितना मेरा जो कुछ है प्रभुपाद के लिए है, और प्रभुपाद जैसा मैंने प्रभुपाद के बिना मैं जी नहीं सकता, और जो कुछ है सब कुछ प्रभुपाद के लिए है। और प्रभुपाद के लिए हमेशा प्रीचिंग करते थे, हमेशा। बोले एक वृद्ध बंगाली ने इतना बड़ा काम करके दिखाया, तो हमको भी ऐसे करना चाहिए। हमेशा प्रभुपाद के नाम लिख रहते थे, हम लोग सिखाते थे कि हमेशा प्रभुपाद सेवा करो और हमेशा भगवान नाम जप करो। एक दिन मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा, ये प्रभु जी की इतना सेवा भाव था। मैंने पहली बार क्लास दिया था बलराम हॉल में हिंदी में। दूसरे दिन उसने मुझे पैसा दिया और फीस्ट खिलाया सब भक्त को। तो पूछा गया किसके लिए दिया प्रभु जी? बोले नहीं, मेरा गौरव भगवान ने हिंदी में क्लास दिया, उसी खुशी में मैंने फीस्ट खिलाया भक्तों को। तो प्रभु जी के इतना उत्साह था भक्तों को सेवा, मतलब उत्साह देने के लिए, बहुत अच्छा लगा मुझे। तो बहुत कथा ऐसा है, क्या बोलूँ, प्रभु जी के साथ टाइम भी कम है। तो हम ये प्रार्थना करते हैं, जे अगर मनु प्रभु जी आपके चरण में कोई अपराध हो तो मुझे क्षमा कर देना। हरे कृष्णा। जय जय श्री राधे।
His Grace Manu Prabhu ki jai. So Manu Prabhu he always engage us, means actually mainly at our meeting time was 8 o'clock in devotee kitchen with Gaur Bhagavan Prabhu, because that time Prabhuji also used to come there for milk, and I also come for collecting some prasadam for our Jagannath temple, means Manu Prabhu's temple. There some devotee was staying there. So usually every day we meet there and we talk different things. So I think it was 2008 or 9, Prabhuji was desiring to put some stone benches in the temple parikrama pathway. So still we have some stone benches between Mercedes gift shop or IBTB. So Prabhuji was built them. So for this, I and another devotee, Krishna Baldev, was here. So we used to go to Sikandara, almost to more than 200 kilometers by bike. So when he heard that we went by bike, he was not happy. He said, no, it's a long journey, you should not go by bike, you should take the car. Anyway, so Prabhuji was contribute for that. So many previous speaker has spoke how much he was contributed in our Krishna Balaram temple. Not only Krishna Balaram temple, different temple in the Braj Kshetra. Or mainly Prabhuji, he engaged me is Jagannath temple, where Prabhuji has built Jagannath temple. Time to time he instruct me why he built it. Like Devi Shakti Mataji has said that his desire was that the Prabhupada disciple now become older and older, so end of their life they will come there and they will stay. So one devotee, Mataji's husband, was there. He was staying there some days, and finally left his body, his own home, whatever. So this was Prabhuji's contribution, and still his contribution is going on through Sanjeev Kurana Prabhu, his son, good son. So Prabhuji was asking, that was my father's desire. Father was desiring that he want to build one Gausala. So last maybe 10 or 15 days back, I informed to Sanjeev Kurana Prabhu, the one land is still there. So I think he's preparing for that to purchase front of the Jagannath temple and fulfilling the desire of Manu Prabhu. And most of the time I used to take Prabhuji in the hospital with Gaur Bhagavan Prabhu when he feels sick, like before he go for London last time. So he had problem, his urinary problem. So I used to take him, so many times I took him in our Naheti hospital, our best hospital in our Mathura district. So he used to talk to the doctor and take the medicine. But medicine, most of medicine he took from what coming from London. He didn't take much medicine from local, from Indian. So he always was engaging me and Gaur Bhagavan Prabhu. We are happy with him. And but like Prabhupada also, I heard that Prabhupada said, if you build temple here, then Krishna will build temple for you, the Golok Vrindavan. So definitely I wish that definitely Prabhupada took Manu Prabhu. And same day, Jagannath Snan Jatra day, we are celebrating here in Jagannath Snan Jatra. Lots of devotees came. I think I have, somebody has made the video, so I'll send it to the Sanjeev Karana Prabhu. So lots, maybe 1,000 devotees came this Snan Jatra day. Then that night I heard this Manu Prabhu as Lord Jagannath took him to his abode. So I pray my obeisances to the Manu Prabhu. Maybe I commit offense to Prabhuji because we serve together lots of times. Sometimes I am angry, he is angry. Sometimes it's happening, no? So maybe I commit some offense to Prabhuji. I ask forgiveness to Prabhuji, please forgive me and engage me, then I can continue serve to Srila Prabhupada mission. Hare Krishna. All glories to Manu Prabhu. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.